Hey guys, before we start the podcast, I just want to give a massive shout out to TBC Live for sponsoring this YouTube channel. Guys, TBC Live is a fantastic way to interact with all your favorite content creators. I'm on the app as well, and you guys can go on to TBC Live and you can predict the outcome of NRL games. You can test out your NRL knowledge, and there's a banter chat, and you can predict the outcomes, whether who's going to score a try in the next 10 minutes or 40-20 or whatever it may be. But guys, get around TBC Live today. Download the app. And, I'll see you guys on there. Now, George, hit the intro. George, hit the fucking intro now, God damn it. Hit the intro. I said hit the intro, not the fucking countdown clock. Yeah, listen right here. Barbara, right now, I want you to put me through the head office. Right now. Let me talk to this George cunt. George, listen. I told you last week. Get the intro on the correct time. Get the timing right. It's not good enough. This is a very, very good podcast. A lot of people watch this show, man. No. Don't give me the bullshit. You'll quit and you'll go join a rival network. I'm not going to have that bullshit, George. Listen, your pay is going to be less than half if you don't get your act together, buddy. Get your shit in order. You stuff up next week. Actually, forget about next week. You better get that outro right. I'm telling you, when this podcast comes to an end tonight, you better get the outro right, mate. I'm telling you. Or you'll be in trouble, buddy. Righto. Yeah, get it right, George. You fucking clown. All right, guys, we're here. Sorry about that. Just had to deal with head office, man. George. Fanatics, mate, what's your take on George? He's not doing a good job.
He isn't. He's not doing a good job. He needs to be a lot better, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough for a great podcast like this. So.
Mate, let me tell you, I just got a text message from Barbara, and she has just sent me a big email, and she says, Nick, tell George to pull his fucking head in, or he will be sacked. You're on notice, George. You're on notice. Anyway, we're here. Episode 5 of the Nfa Podcast for another night. Usually we do it Wednesday night, but I got a bit of a bigger week this week. I got a lot on this week, so we've decided to do it tonight. But Warriors and NRL Fanatics is here as always. Fanatics, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Nick. Hope everyone else is doing great on this Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night for a podcast this week. I know you've got a huge week ahead, but it's good to be back on here again, and of course, massive round of final round of footy before the finals. So yeah, looking forward to it. But it's good to be back on.
If George is gonna get the sack, Pro Enzo Vids in the live chat may get kicked to the 5-minute timeout period in the moment, coming in here with that Bulldogs 13 plus bullshit. Come on, Pro Enzo. Come on, man. I saw your little tipping video. You tipped the Bulldogs. Not good, mate. Not good. I'm telling you, Lorenzo, you wait till the weekend, buddy. You little shit. You little shit. Even though his tipping video will probably get more views than I do, because somehow Lorenzo's getting like 2,000, 3,000 views on his tipping videos every week. I don't know what he's doing, man, but crazy. But of course, hello to the live chat. Who we got here? CJ, everyone's having a bit of a laugh. Positive vibes tonight, guys. Positive vibes. CJ, yeah. Lockie, Michael, West Storm fan, Jason Reed, everyone that's rolling in. CJ, Nathan, Josh, Gene, Rishi, Michael, hello. I can't even catch up with the live chat. My computer's that out of date. Can't even catch up. But hope everyone's doing well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do. Like and subscribe. But Oh, and also make sure you subscribe to Warriors and NRL Fanatics if you haven't already. Make sure you do. All right, let's start the show. We got a bit to go over tonight, and let's start with some big news, Fanatics, over the weekend. Sydney Roosters. Is it season over for the Roosters? Lots of crucial injuries. They lost Sam Walker to an ACL. They lost who else they lose? I lost Victor Radley for the season. I think he's got some shoulder injury. Brendan Smith's gone. Lots of problems. Nat Butcher's out this for a couple of weeks. Roosters season, Fanatics, is it over?
Um, yeah, a lot of injuries. No doubt about it. Sam Walker is a massive blow for the Roosters in their finals chances. For me, but yeah, look, I don't know whether the Roosters will be able to cope without the loss of Sam Walker. Of course, it's a big part of their team. He's a big part of their team and their attack and the way they play. So season over, I don't know if I say season over as such, but I don't think they will make the grand final. I'm going to say it now. Yeah. I think.
Roosters season is over. Get the red pen. Get the goddamn red pen. Boom. Line. Look at this. Boom. Season over for the Roosters. Bye bye. They cannot win the premiership without Sam Walker and Brendan Smith. Absolutely no chance. No way in the goddamn world. You can't win a grand final without your halfback and without your hooker. Now, I know Brendan Smith's form has been hot and cold a lot this season, but he's been finding form last 6 weeks or so. But nah, they're gone, bro. They are well and truly gone. And I know people are going to say, oh, but what about Sandon Smith? What about Joseph Manu going to 5'8"? Blah, blah, blah. Luke Keary is retiring. He's getting older. Hargraves, he comes back. Will he even survive one game without doing a stupid high tackle where he may get suspended again? What's going to happen there? Look, don't get me wrong. They have a great roster and they have a great side. Their depth is great, but you can't win the premiership without your halfback and without your hooker. It's as simple as that. I get Connor Watson will do a job. I get Sandon Smith can fill in, but there's no way the Roosters are going to beat Melbourne, Penrith without Sam Walker, Brendan Smith. No way in the world. Not a chance. I wish them all the best. Good luck. But week 1 of finals, Roosters are going to be playing either Melbourne or Penrith. They'll probably get pumped there. And then they're going to be playing a very hot Manly, Bulldogs, or Cowboys. Most likely one of them three. And I wouldn't want to play either of them three after they've had a win in an elimination final, depending on how it goes. But good luck. They're screwed. They're screwed. And funny enough, the Roosters have lost to the Bulldogs, Cowboys, and Seagulls this season. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Do you think the Roosters might try and get Chad Townsend a bit early, Fanatics? What do you reckon about that?
They might try to, but probably won't be able to. Regardless, I think the Roosters probably at best probably make week 2 at least, or at least week 3, and I don't think they'll win the grand final. Not without Sam Walker, no.
I'm just reading a live chat. Faraz says cows aren't special. Laugh out loud. Well, either of the Broncos, mate. Where are they? They're not even in September. They're not even in the finals. Where are the Broncos, Faraz? Made a grand final. Didn't even back it up. They may have beat us twice this season, but they haven't done shit in years. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of the Roosters, Fanatics, what about this? What about this chaotic situation?
Gosh. My God.
Trent Robinson versus Elliot Whitehead. What on earth? My goodness. How about this on the weekend? So they were doing I'm trying to remember what they were doing. They were out on the field. I think they were doing a service for the police academy. They were doing a presentation for the whole Bondi thing that happened earlier this year. That was a terrible tragedy, and I think they were given a medal to somebody or whatever happened. Anyway, Elliot Whitehead went over to apologise to Trent Robinson about the hip drop tackle on Brendan Smith, and Trent Robinson didn't want a bar of it. He apologized. He didn't want a bar of it, and Robinson's pretty much said, "Well, you've done it too many times, mate. You've done it too many times in your career." Blah blah blah. Now, for Trent Robinson to say that, he must have done a lot of homework on Elliot Whitehead. Now, you go back and look at Elliot Whitehead's record when it comes to hip drop tackles and suspensions. It isn't great, and Trent Robinson does have a point on that factor, but also what Trent Robinson needs to understand is he has two players in his top 30 that have one of the worst NRL records when it comes to judiciary. You've got a guy by the name of Jared Waerea-Hargreaves, who's currently out suspended due to a high tackle. And then you've got a guy by the name of Victor Radley, who also has a bad track record. I can understand both sides of the story here. Like Elliot Whitehead needs to probably look at himself when it comes to tackling and hip drops, and Robinson. I think it's very hypocritical of Trent Robinson. I think look, for me, I can see both sides of the story. But Fanatics, what's your take on this? Whose side do you want here, Robbo or Elliot Whitehead?
I think obviously with Robertson, he came out and had a bit of a suck, a bit of a moan about Elliot Whitehead. And look, maybe Elliot Whitehead needs to cool it down in terms of the way he tackles and that. But for Robertson to come out in the press conference and talk about Elliot Whitehead like that, it was just a bit ridiculous in my opinion. I just wasn't a fan of it. But I don't know. I can see two sides to the story. Yes, maybe Elliot Whitehead does need to, tone it down a bit. Maybe Trent was right in a way, but also he doesn't sound like he was sucking about for the sake of it. For me, so yeah, I'm a bit on the fence with it. I'm really a bit on the fence with the whole situation, with the whole thing.
I don't condone Elliot Whitehead for the hip drop tackle. Obviously, it was not great. It wasn't the worst hip drop tackle I've seen. Like I've seen way worse hip drops where someone hasn't got injured, but this is just one of those unfortunate situations where Elliot Whitehead has put Brendan Smith in a really shit position, and obviously the Cheese has gone down with an injury. Whitehead has apologized to Brendan Smith and tried to apologize to Trent Robinson, and then Elliot Whitehead blew up in the press conference and said, well, Robinson's just had a go at me, and yeah. It's a bit of a shit show, man. Now, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think Trent Robinson should be fined for what he said about Elliot Whitehead, or do you think it's one of those things where they should just both sort of move on and move on, I guess?
I don't think he should be fined. I think that would just be a little bit of an overreaction. But yeah, I think they should just sort it out themselves. Just both of them sort it out themselves. Just don't really need to make a big deal out of it all.
Yeah.
Just sort it out themselves. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a strange thing. That a coach and a player, from an opposite side, just comes out and just has a go at each other. So the hip drop tackle is not great. It wasn't a great look at all. No doubt about it, because Brandon Smith's injured and he's out for this week's game or the season. Actually, he's out for the season, so which is not great at all. So yeah, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him for coming out, having a bit of a.
Look, man, if I'm Trent Robinson, obviously you got to protect your players. He's got every right to be angry, and I don't blame him for being angry. I really don't blame him. But you got to remember, like Elliot Whitehead as well. Like he's an NRL player. You don't want to be, you know, too critical of him. Trent Robinson should have spoken to Ricky Stewart about this after the game, but obviously they don't talk and they don't get along, so it's never going to happen. But I think it's one of those situations where it's between them, and
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, they both should just sort it out. I don't think anyone should get involved. I know NRL 360 had a field day with this story last night, but um, it is what it is, I reckon. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it's just how it is sometimes, I guess. All right, let's move on. Some news that broke today. Royce Hunt. Okay, let me fix the damn title up. Royce Hunt signs with the West Tigers. Really good signing for the West Tigers. They needed to replace Stefano, and I think they've found their man. But yeah, Royce Hunt signs with the West Tigers. What do you think about this one, Warriors NRL fanatics?
I reckon it's a good signing for the Tigers. You know, they definitely need another, another forward into the mix there. And I think Royce Hunt brings plenty to the Tigers. I think he'll bring plenty on the for the table because he's quite an experienced player. I know he hasn't been around for long, but it feels like he's an experienced player. He's been playing footy for a bit, but yeah, it's a good signing for the Tigers. You know, they definitely need it, and he'll add plenty for them moving forward, I think.
The only thing I'm worried about with this signing is I think a lot of West
Yeah.
Tigers fans and a lot of West Tigers people are going to expect Royce Hunt to be what Stefano was, and I don't
Mm,
think I don't think that's fair. Like Royce Hunt is a very good young up and coming front rower, but
yeah.
he isn't on the same level as a Stefano. So I think Royce Hunt will come in with his own style, and obviously he should go well. He really should, but it's not the same, bro. It's not the same as Stefano, and a lot of
True.
people have been saying that. So
Mm.
I don't know, man. Do you think the West Tigers are going in the right direction with some of these signings?
I think they are. They're looking for to build this side moving into the future. Of course, with Jerome Lloyd coming in, it's a big in for them next year, and obviously it's been a tough first year for Benji. No doubt about it. But I think they're moving in the right direction, the Tigers. And I know people, in the past have got hyped up at the Tigers and they've been disappointing and that for a number of years. But I think they're building the right ideas for the future. To
Hmm.
be a finals team in the coming years. But that I think it's a good. I think it's just good because Stefano is a big loss, no doubt about it. But bringing in someone like Royce Hunt, which you can't expect him to be Stefano, but bring him into the team is a good signing for the Tigers, and I think the future is looking pretty bright for the Tigers moving forward. I think they've got some good young players coming through the ranks as well.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a good sign. Like you can't say it's not a good sign. He's young.
Yeah.
He's very talented. I think the West Tigers have got some really good young forwards coming through that system, and I just hope
Mm.
for their sake they can keep all of them. I had a bit of a look at the West Tigers forward pack today
Yeah.
on social media and what they're looking at next year, and they still got young Fanua Pole and Royce Hunt. That might be the starting front row. Crossow will be the hooker. And then you got a couple of really good young back rowers there in Samuel Faunu and Ruben Porter. And then you got obviously a couple others there like Alex Twell still there and David Clemmer maybe coming off the bench and whatever. But um, there's rumors that they might even sign Jack Bird yet, but that hasn't been announced. But Jack Bird was spotted at Concord today and seemed to be very happy. So he will probably end up there as well, which is, I mean, Jack Bird's not what he was 5-6 years ago, but he'll be handy for him. Like he can cover a few positions. But Royce Hunt, man, good young prop. I think it's a good little pickup for the Tigers. I do. All right, moving on. Moving on. Now, I didn't want to bring this up, but I think we're just going to have to bring this up. Kevin Walters under pressure. Now, as we know, Fanatics, the Brisbane Broncos, they were in the grand final last year. They came second on the ladder last year. They were 5 minutes away from a grand final. They blew a 16-point lead. We all know what happened there. This season, they have somehow managed to miss the top 8 entirely. They have somehow missed the top 8, and they are currently 12th on the NRL ladder. And if they lose this weekend, which I think we all think they're going to get flogged by Melbourne, they will finish 12th. They would have gone from 2nd to 12th. That is absolutely disgraceful. Now, I know they've had a lot of injuries. I know they've had their reasons. But Warriors NRL Fanatics, I think Kevin Walters is under enormous pressure next season. When we get to round 1 next year and we're getting into, 2025 ladder predictions and whatever, Kevin Walters will probably be the coach under the most pressure. Do you think he's under shitloads of pressure right now, Kevin Walters?
Yeah, look, I think if you look at the roster they've got, if you look at the players they've got in, I know they've got injuries. I know they had injuries this year, but like they should be at least in the top 8. They should be challenging for the finals, and they haven't been. Their form hasn't been great throughout the season. So Kevy, I think look, he made the grand final last year. They did well to get to the grand final. They were, almost touching distance to winning the premiership last year, and they lost it themselves. They bottled it really much.
Yeah.
So I think next year, if the Broncos don't make the finals, or at least don't be in that top 8, then you have to put them in that picture for the coach under the most pressure next season. For me, so I think he's definitely under pressure because the squad they have, they should be at least in the finals every year. They should be challenging for finals every year.
Well, look, obviously, I think State of Origin is probably where it really hurt them. That's where the Broncos really fell apart, was that State of Origin period. But it's so disappointing. Like, how can you go from finishing second on the ladder, you're in a grand final, and you fall all the way down to 12th? You fall down 10 spots. That is absolutely mind-boggling. I don't know how that happens. I really don't know. Now, they haven't gone through like a small rebuild. They've had a very similar roster to last year. They did lose a couple of players, experienced ones like Herbie and Capewell and Flagler and whatnot, but they still had enough quality to play finals and be up there, man. It's one of the all-time drop-offs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually thought they'd be a lot better, and I know a lot of people thought they'd be at least top 4. So that's why I'm really surprised how they've gone this year, and of course my boys as well. I got to say my boys as well, especially my Warriors. Both Warriors and Broncos. Who would have thought that this year both those teams would be, not even in the top 8. After what they did last year. So, I mean,
well, use a similar, bro. You use a similar. You guys went from 4th to 13th. You went down 9 steps. They went down 10. It's literally the same thing.
Exactly. And look, I can say a lot about the Broncos, but my team has been shocking this year as well. It's really disappointing to not at least be in that top 8 as well, which is the most disappointing thing for me. So
you know what? Like Kevin Walters, I reckon he's under enormous pressure to try and keep his job next year, and the Broncos at the start of next year, they'll be under more pressure than any other team, without question. But Kevin Walters, is he a good NRL coach? Should he be under this much pressure? Well, when you're coaching a club like the Broncos, who are one of the biggest clubs in the NRL, whether you like them or hate them, I can't stand their guts. I hope they literally hope they get kicked out of the NRL. But for a team like that, a club like that, that obviously their standards are very high. They really fell off, like ridiculously fell off. Really poor, really poor. Would you say Broncos most disappointing team of the year, or would you say maybe the Warriors, or maybe even a South, or even a Parramatta? For me, it's got to be
Yeah.
most disappointing.
I have to put the Broncos as the most disappointing team as well as us. Yeah, the Warriors and Broncos to not make the top eight after being in the top four last year is disappointing. So yeah, and Souths, I thought the Souths were going into this year. I had high expectations for the
So did
Rabbitohs as
I.
well.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
I
did.
thought I thought they'd be at least be one of those teams that would challenge for a premiership this year, which is crazy to say, and
Yeah,
they haven't
poor old
been.
Souths.
Yeah.
Look, Parramatta was really disappointing. The way Parramatta fell off was quite sickening. Souths was terrible as well. But Mike, have you seen South's injury toll? Like their best 17. It's everyone that's brought out. It's actually insane. It's actually insane. I might even get it up for us. Actually, a lot of people are going to ask about the casualty award, so bear with me. South Sydney's injury toll this season is one of the worst I've ever seen. Like it is absolutely messed up. So here it is. This is everyone that's out for Souths. If I can find the damn list, where is it? South. Oh, for some reason it gave me the NRLW one. Fuck me. Bear with me. I will find it in a moment. Oh God, where is it? I'll Google it in a minute. All right, we're going to Google. Fuck me. NRL app is ridiculous. All right, so I'm just going to type up NRL Casualty Award. The South Sydney toll is ridiculous. Right, here we go. Souths season Jairo gone. Campbell Graham gone. Alex Johnson gone. Latrell Mitchell gone. That's four. Like,
Sheesh.
like that's a lot of them there. Cam Murray gone. Tass gone. Totola gone. Whiten gone. That's half their fucking backline gone, and their halves, and they're one of their origin front rowers. I know South's had some problems beforehand, but Jesus, bad injury toll, man. Bad injury toll. We'll see how they go next year, but I think we both agree that Kevin Walters is under the most pressure out of all the coaches, fanatics.
Yeah. He's going to be up there next year for sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Tyran Wishart. I am a big fan of this kid, and I'm sure you are as well, fanatics.
Yep.
Tyran Wishart,
Oh, definitely.
one of the best Jersey 14 players in the competition. Plays a bit of 5'8", plays a bit
Yep.
of anywhere really. Plays a bit on the wing, plays a bit in the middle. This bloke is an absolute gun. What, in your opinion, what is Tyran Wishart worth?
Yeah. Well, if you look at what he's been doing this year, he's worth plenty. I think he's worth plenty. In terms of the price, geez, I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna go around 40K. That's my
40?
estimate. 40K.
Do
Yeah,
you mean 400?
around that mark. 400K. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Really? 400K? Wow.
Yeah,
See,
I'm
I
actually,
reckon he's worth.
I'm
Wow.
yeah.
Go on.
I think he actually is, because if you look at what he provides, especially with the positions he can play, in halves, he can play a bit of, he can play a bit of hooker as well. He's like if you look at this year and how he's come into the side of the Storm, he's done a great job for them there. So I think he's definitely worth quite a bit. Um, right now, that's what I think personally, like the way he's been
Okay.
playing. So
I reckon Tyran Wishart is worth a lot more than that. In my
more,
opinion,
well.
In my opinion, Tyron Wishart is worth 700,000. I think
Phew.
if if Tyron Wishart went to the NRL open market today, and a team like the Dragons or a team like the the Raiders or a team like Cronulla, I reckon they would pay 600, 700,000 for his services. I think they would. He's an absolute freak. He's a great young talent. And yes, you might be paying overs a little bit for him, but um, that's the business of NRL with the open market. You have to pay over to get these young gun kids. You are
Mm.
not going to be any chance on buying any great young talent if you don't pay over. It's like when I look at Tyron Wishart's worth, there's guys like Farlongo, guys like Keanu Kinney, guys like Fletcher Sharp, guys like Jackson Purdue, guys like Blaze Talangi, all these kids that have got all the potential in the world. If they all went to the market today, desperate clubs and teams that are looking for them sort of players, they would pay ridiculous money to get them. Like someone like a Keanu Kinney. What would you pay for that kid? Like you'd pay nearly
Oh,
600, 700,000 for someone like him. It's an absolute gun.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the potential's so high for Keno Kenny. He's a great talent. So I'd probably say they're around that much, 600, 700K.
Your young fullback,
Yeah,
Tane Tuapiki,
yep,
mate. If he went to the market today, I reckon a club would pay him 500,000.
yeah,
They'd do it. They'd do it. If you want these kids and you want them to start, obviously it's a risk the first year or two because you're paying on
yep,
potential and you're taking a gamble on a young bloke. But in the long term, you're gonna be absolutely laughing at what you're getting. You really are. You're gonna be laughing in the long run. It's about building up the future. This is why Penrith are so successful. They build these young kids. You don't hear about them. Melbourne do the exact same thing down there in Melbourne because no one even goes to Melbourne to look for talent because it's all AFL and other sports. But they just blood these kids, man. They just know what they're doing. Melbourne, Penriths, so many good young juniors, and they just develop them, and they're freaks, bro. They're just insane. They're insane. So I'm going to say 700,000 for Wishart, and you're saying
yep.
400.
Yeah, I'll go around. Actually, no, I might go. Actually, I've had a long thought about that. I might actually go like around about 500K
All
instead.
right,
Yeah,
all right,
I'll go 500K.
all right. Last topic, and then we'll get to the round 27 tips.
All right.
My dogs versus cows theory. Right now, I don't want to bore everyone, but I have something I need to say. Now, I've done some research. Basically, the other day, I was watching the old. So the Cowboys were locked into the final series, and I got excited a little bit, and I went and watched our first ever finals game in 2004 when we played the Bulldogs down there in Sydney. Right. Here's the theory. Fanatics, get ready because you're gonna like this. You're either gonna think that I'm going insane or I'm onto something here. So, right, prepare, everyone. Get ready. Here we go. My dogs versus Cowboys theory. So basically, in 2004, the Bulldogs played the Cowboys in week one of the finals. The Cowboys won that game by 8 points, 30-22. Matt Singh was the Cowboys' right winger in that game. He had 3 tries. Fast forward 10 years later, 2014, the Bulldogs played the Cowboys in Sydney at Accor Stadium once again. It was round 20 of the NRL on a Saturday night. The Cowboys won that game. Oh, they won by 8 points again. This time 20-12. And the Cowboys' right winger that night was Matthew Wright. He had 2 tries. Fast forward now, actually, before I fast forward, also in that game, before kickoff, the Bulldogs 5'8" at the time was Josh Reynolds. He was ruled out for that game due to an injury. Fast forward to 2024, Bulldogs versus Cowboys this weekend at Accor Stadium in Sydney. The Bulldogs 5'8", Matt Burton has been ruled out. And based off all them stats, based off my theory, this weekend, Bulldogs and Cowboys, the Cowboys should win by 8 points, and Kyle Felt should score 2 or more tries. That's my theory. Cowboys by 8. It's the bet of the year. Now, if you're a gambling man and you want to have a bet on that, you can go on to any gambling agency right now. You can put in Kyle Felt to score 2 tries or more with the Cowboys, exact winning margin to be by 8 points. You're getting about $103 odds. It's absolutely insane. So, Fanatics, what is your opinion on my theory?
Yeah, well, that's a very big theory there. I like it. I really do because
Am I onto something? Or am I going mad? Which one is it?
I wouldn't say you're going mad as such. It is a bit of a crazy one, but like I'm not.
Hey, who are you calling crazy? I'm onto something here, bro. The Bulldogs talk about their 4s, 2000 and 80, what was it, 84, 94.
Yeah.
I think it was 74 actually. 74, 84, 94, 04, 2014, now 2024. I've just come up with a 4 theory for this weekend. Dogs, Cows. Cows won by 8 in 04 and in 2014, both at Accor Stadium. The right winger had 2 tries in 04 and in 2014, 2 or more tries. All of a sudden, this weekend, it's Dogs versus Cowboys. It's at Accor Stadium again.
Yeah.
The right winger to score 2 tries, Cows by 8. I'm telling you, man, I'm onto something here. I'm onto something. I'm definitely onto something. I believe the Cast Patrol are going to talk about it on their podcast. So shout out to the Cast Patrol. I believe they're gonna mention it. So shout out to them for taking the time out of their day to read the theory. But yeah, bit of a wild one, isn't it, Fanatics?
It definitely got me out. Like it definitely caught my attention, that wild take there. Wild theory, but look, I mean, it might actually pay off this week. You never know.
If you're a Bulldogs fan, you should be nervous this weekend. We are coming to Sydney and we are ambushing you at your home stadium. And the 4 theory will work on the Cowboys' end.
Oh, good.
I hope, anyway. All right, let's get to the tips. Round 27, Fanatics. Probably one of the biggest round 27s that I have seen in a long time. There's a lot at stake this weekend, man. There's a lot at stake. All right. What have we got? Thursday night football up at Suncorp. Broncos versus Storm. I think we'll keep this one short and sweet. Melbourne for me, 20 plus.
Yep. Melbourne Storm 13 plus.
I'm going 30 plus. It's going to be a bloodbath. Friday, 6 o'clock from Campbelltown. I am looking forward to this. I will actually be going to this game. The Spoon Bowl. I'm going to the Spoon Bowl, Fanatics. Can you believe it? The fucking Spoon Bowl. The Tigers and the Eels. I might need to get a pillow so I don't fall asleep watching this shit. But what a game. Tigers versus Eels. Who do you like in this one?
I'm actually going to go with the Tigers.
Oh, Tigers. Poor Parramatta. Their fans are in the comments.
I'm going to go with the Tigers. Yep, Tigers do it. Yeah, they're going to avoid the spoon. Tigers 1-12.
I'm going to go Parramatta 13 plus. I think they'll be too good. I think they've got too many points, but we'll have to wait and see. The oldest and biggest rivalry on Friday night as well, 8 o'clock. South Sydney versus Sydney Roosters. This is going to be very interesting. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, look, I'd love to see Souths win it, but I'm gonna have to go with the Roosters. But Roosters 1 to 12, actually. I don't think it'll be 13 plus. I'm gonna go Roosters 1 to 12.
I'll go Roosters 1 to 12 as well, but I really hope South win. I really hope South win. Anyway. On to Super Saturday, 3 o'clock from the Strata Jubilee. The winner will finish ninth, so who really cares? But Dragons
Yeah.
v Raiders from Cogra Oval. Who do you like in this one?
I'm gonna go Dragons. Dragons 1 to 12. Yeah.
I'm going to go Dragons 1 to 12 with absolutely no confidence. I'm a bit worried about who to pick in this game, but I feel like Shane Flanagan's spray in the press conference might get him up for one more game. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. from Accor Stadium. Bulldogs versus Cowboys. I will be at this game. I cannot wait to be at this game. They're expecting about 40,000 at this game on Saturday night. Winner gets a home final. Loser will finish 7th if Manly win. If Manly lose, the loser of this game will finish 6th. Huge game this. Bulldogs versus Cowboys. And also Matt Burton, Bronson Sherry, both out. Big outs. Who do you like, Fanatics?
I'm gonna go with the Cows for the upset. Actually, I'm gonna go with your boys to get the win.
Love it.
I'm gonna go Cowboys by 4 points. Yeah, Cows get the win.
Cowboys by 8. We know the Fury. Cowboys
the
by
Fury.
8. And yeah, Felt will score 2 or more. Go the Cowboys. Looking forward to getting down there on Saturday. Also, shout out to the Touchline podcast. I'll be seeing them on Saturday night. Shout out to those legends. 7:35 Saturday night at Penrith Park. It's listed as Penrith Park, funny enough, for the final time. Panthers versus Titans. Yeah, this might be a bloodbath.
I think this is a game which will be more of a snooze fest for me, but I'll go Penrith. Penrith easily. Penrith 40 plus.
40 plus, mate. As soon as the Cowboys Dogs game finishes, just get the TV remote and just turn it off or change the channel. You don't want to watch this. Penrith are going to pounce the Titans. It's going to be ugly. Let me tell you. Panthers 40 plus, and then Sunday afternoon. Sunday is full of huge major events. Sunday 2 o'clock, Brookvale Oval, Manly versus Sharks. Brookvale Oval, it's a sellout. If Manly win, they will finish 6th and get a home final. If they lose, they'll finish 7th and they'll play the loser of Bulldogs Cowboys. Who do you reckon wins this one?
I am going to go Manly Seagulls 1-12 at home.
I'm going to go Manly as well. Manly 1-12. Should be a close game. And the final game of the round, what a game. The final game of the regular season is one of the biggest games of the year. The Newcastle Knights versus the Dolphins, 9th versus 8th. The winner will play finals footy. The loser will completely miss out. What a game, man. And it's great that this game is 8th versus 9th. Winner makes the 8th. Winner, loser goes home. I can't wait for this. Who do you like, Fanatics? Knights or Dolphins?
Yeah, I think this is potentially a game all round for me. Of course, being the fact that this is for 8th spot on the ladder and it's in Newcastle, and I'm sure Newcastle will get a good crowd there in for their their last game of the season. Yeah, for their last regular season game of the season if they make the finals. I'm gonna actually this is a tricky game to tip. This one's really hard because I went back and forth between these two teams and who to pick. I'm going to go Knights purely because it's at home. But look, I think if it was played at Suncorp, I probably would have gone with the Dolphins here. But I'll go with the Knights. But I'm not confident because I do feel like the Dolphins, under Wayne, you just can't write off, a Wayne Bennett coach side. So,
well, I'm gonna say whoever wins this game is going to have the honor and pleasure and
Yeah.
privilege to lose to the Cowboys in Week 1 in Townsville. So I don't really care who wins, but I'm going to say
Yeah.
Dolphins win because Wayne Bennett is a genius and he has something up his sleeve. So for me, Dolphins 1-12 should be good. But anyway, Fanatics, bro, that's where the podcast is going to come to an end. Mate, I appreciate your time tonight as always. It was a great show. We had a bit of a laugh and
Yeah.
should be a great weekend. I'll be in Sydney for the Spoon Bowl and Dogs Cow, so should be a bit of fun, man. Great weekend ahead.
Yeah, no, it was great podcast tonight, Nick, and I really do appreciate you having me on again this week. And look, I've got to say, good
Great
luck
show.
to your Cowboys. Good luck to your
Appreciate it,
Cowboys
bro.
against the Dogs, and yeah, enjoy Sydney as well. Enjoy your time up in Sydney this weekend, which will
And
be
mate,
good.
you can enjoy your Warriors having Mad Monday, I suppose. I guess in a good way,
Oh,
without trying to be a dick.
yes.
But enjoy the off season, Mr. Warriors. Enjoy the off season.
Oh, I would rather be playing the finals, but it would be good to sit back and watch the games without any stress as well. So
Oh,
I
hang
can
on a
sort of see
minute.
the positives
Hang on
as
a
well.
second. It's George again. He's
Oh.
telling me, do I want the outro to be on now? Listen, mate, I haven't even stopped talking, and you're already interrupting the show. George, listen, Barbara's already emailed me. Barbara's already sent me a text. Your work is simply not good enough. Fanatics, do you want to send a fucking message to Georgie?
Just tell George to get his act together.
Oh, you know what he said? He said Warriors and our Fanatics is a goblin. No, that's it. You know what, George? You're fired. You're fired. Fuck off, George. Anyway, guys, this is where the podcast comes to an end. See you later. George is fired. Fuck this. Have a good night, everyone.
See you, George.
Fuck George.